nobody can remember her. Hello, how's it going? I'm Julia, and for this video, I'm going to be talking about the 23 books that I would like to prioritize in 2021. I just picked 23 books. I don't know why everyone else is doing 21. I guess I'll be different and do 23. It's just the number that I picked. I was like, ooh. Like, you know when you're like, that's the one. And you just keep going. But, yeah, I picked 23. So, that's what I'm doing. I have filmed this like 5 times. I filmed one and it was really long and I deleted it. And then I've tried to film it like 3 times today. And I just, I was gonna read like the synopsis, multiple. And it's just taking a really long time and I don't want to do that, so I read the back of them and like hopefully I can remember. It doesn't really matter because you won't see me reading them, but the first 2 that I want to talk about are the most intimidating ones for me, and I probably honestly won't get to because they're intimidating and they're scary and long, and I really want to, but I usually read, like, my length of book is usually about 300-400 pages. I can go past that, I can go lower than that. I usually don't like to go lower than that, but these just are super long and big. So the first book is A Promised Land by Barack Obama. This is a memoir. Obviously it follows his time, I believe, in office, and just other things like how he is the first Black American president and how he responded to all of that and how everything happened in office. Probably like some childhood stuff. I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, and then the next, if you guessed it. Oh, also, I just want to point this out. It looks maybe 400 or 500 pages. Yes, no. It's 700. I don't know if you've read this. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. But those pages are so thin. And it looks and feels scary. So, anywho, the next book is Michelle Obama's Becoming. I think this delves more into her childhood and stuff. Her marriage with Barack Obama, like the early stages and stuff, and probably becoming the first lady, and like everything that being the first lady comes with, you know. It's a very, like, I feel like people think like being the president is a very stressful job, and it is, but being the first lady also has to be a stressful job. Like, she was doing a lot of things from what I can remember. I was 10 when he was in office, like when he was first put in office, so yeah. The next book is Hood Feminism by Miki Kendall. I hope I'm saying that correctly. This is about feminism and how basically mainstream feminist issues are not all feminist issues, and that we need to talk more about food security, access to quality education, safe neighborhoods, a living wage, and medical care, because they're all feminist issues and we don't talk about them enough. And she just kind of dives more into that. I've heard literally only great things about this, so I'd like to read that. Like, I don't know, I've heard it's really good. So, and like, it's not something that I would usually pick up, but it's like a learning thing as well. I don't know why I don't know what that's called at the moment. The next book is Anxious People by Fredrick Blackman. This follows, I believe, 8 people who are looking at an apartment or an apartment building or something, and while they're there, these 2 bank robbers come in and they're holding them hostage. You don't really get much from the synopsis. It's just like there's one guy hiding in the bathroom, and then there's a couple the woman is pregnant, and then there's an old lady, like this older couple is trying to have, like, buy things, like, fixer-uppers, so they can hire people to, like, fix it up, and, like, the pregnant woman, like, her and her husband can't decide on anything, like, they can't agree on anything. I'm not exactly sure, like, what this is meant to be about, to be completely honest. The last paragraph says, that none of them is entirely who they appear to be, and all of them, the bank robber included, oh, so it's only one bank robber, I lied, desperately crave some sort of rescue. So maybe it's about them, like, coming together, because it says that they reveal surprising truths about themselves and set in motion a chain of events so unexpected that they can hardly explain what happens next. So I've also only heard, like, super good things about him as an author. Like, some people, like, from reviews, they say that he's kind of, like, he's a different writer, but I've never read him before, so I kind of want to read this before I read Beartown. Is that what it's called? Yeah, I have Beartown. I'd like to read that as well, but I don't know what I'll read first. I kind of, like, you'd think I'd want to read this first because I'm prioritizing it, but, like, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know. But I'd like to read it. Both of them. The next book is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This will also be another first author that I've read. If you live under a rock and you don't know what this is about, this follows Daisy, and she's growing up in the 60s, and while she's there, she's following this band, I think, or she, like, watches them. I'm not exactly sure, but she's in this scene, and the lead singer of the Six, his wife gets pregnant, or his girlfriend, and he basically, I guess he bails, and she takes over as lead singer. And this is told in, like, interview style, I believe, like, how they met, and, like, each point of view is told in, like, a different way. It's interesting. I've heard it's interesting. I'm excited to read it. I've heard she's also a really great author. The next book is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by B.E. Schwab. This follows Addie LaRue, and she basically meets this dude, and I'm assuming she, like, sells her soul, and every year he comes back to, like, visit her to ask if she wants to die, I guess. I'm not sure, but she's 300 years old, and then one day, like, the curse is that nobody can remember her, so she's, like, living, like, 300 years with nobody, and then one day someone remembers her. I'm not exactly sure where that will go, but I've heard, like, mixed reviews on this. Like, I've heard, oh, it's 2014, okay. I've heard really great things about this, and I've also heard not so good things about this. So I don't think they're exactly, like, mixed, but they're not exactly, like, it's one or the other. There's no, like, in between. The next book is Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut. I hope that's right. The back of this doesn't really explain much. It basically is just saying that it centers around the infamous firebombing of Dresden. Billy Pilgrim's odyssey through time reflects the mythic journey of our own fractured lives as we search for the meaning in what we fear most. I wanted to read this for a really long time. I actually started it, and I stopped on chapter 2 apparently. I don't know why I stopped, but I did. So I'd like to read that. I'd like to read more classics this year because I don't read enough, and I'd like to. The next is Flowers for Algernon by Daniel Keyes. I'm going to start reading the backs because these are not as long as hardcovers. So, Charlie Gordon is about to embark upon an unprecedented journey. Born with an unusually low IQ, he has been chosen as the perfect subject for an experimental surgery that researchers hope will increase his intelligence. A procedure that has already been highly successful when tested on a lab mouse named Algernon. As the treatment takes effect, Charlie's intelligence expands until it surpasses that of the doctors who engineered his metamorphosis. The experiment appears to be a scientific breakthrough of paramount importance until Algernon suddenly deteriorates. Will the same happen to Charlie? I actually picked this up because of the movie Everything Everything, or the book Everything Everything. I can't remember if it was in the book, but it is in the movie, where she like gives one sentenced reviews, and I know how it ends. I don't know if it happens to both, but I know it happens to one. A little non-spoilery. Spoilery. The next book is The Martian by Andy Weir. This basically, he gets stuck on Mars and he has to learn how to survive until his team can come back and save him. That's what I remember from the movie. But I've heard this is very science-y. It's sci-fi, but my aunt gave this to me and she read it and she enjoyed it. I don't know if I'm going to like this, but I do want to read it because I did enjoy the movie. So yeah. The next is Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. Now, if you watched my December wrap-up and you're like, why is this girl picking up another Charles Dickens? I'm asking myself the same question. I don't know. I just want to get it off my shelf, and I want to give it a try. I'm hoping that it's not the same as A Christmas Carol and the original ending. Is there 2 endings? I'm not even sure what this is about. Pip. I know that name. In an overgrown churchyard, a grizzled convict springs upon an orphan boy named Pip. The convict terrifies Pip and threatens to kill him unless Pip helps further his escape. Later, Pip finds himself in a ruined garden where he meets the embittered and crazy Miss Havisham and her foster child, Estella, with whom he immediately falls in love. After a secret benefactor gives him a fortune, Pip moves to London, where he cultivates great expectations for a life that would allow him to discard his impoverished beginnings and socialize with the idle upper class. As Pip struggles to become a gentleman and is tormented endlessly by the beautiful Estella, he slowly learns the truth about himself and his illusions. What is this about? Is it just like him, like, falling in love with her and her not feeling the same way back? I don't get it. That's okay. The next book is Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov. I can never say that name. I have been trying to read this for a very long time and I just can't do it. I just haven't done it. This follows Hubert's obsessive devouring and doomed passion for the nymphette Dolores Hayes. Most of all, it is a meditation on... Most of all, it is a meditation on love as outrage and hallucination, madness and transformation. So this is basically about a guy who's a grown man. I'm not exactly sure how old he is, but he falls in love with like a 12-year-old girl. And It's a classic. I'd like to read it. I'd like to know what the fascination is about it. So, I hope nothing, maybe, I'm sure something weird will happen. The next is The Stranger by Albert Camus. This is about a murder. That's all that I know. He's at an Algerian beach. The guy, an ordinary man who unwittingly gets drawn into a senseless murder on a sun-drenched Algerian beach. Camus explored what he termed the nakedness of man faced with the absurd. So, I don't know, like, the synopsis, they're so vague. I don't exactly know what this is about, but it's about a murder, so that's always fun. The next is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott, and another thing that if you live under a rock and you don't know, this follows 4 sisters where their father is in the war and they kind of have to deal with it. And see, like, there's nothing on the back of this. It just explains that this is about her life, but it follows her 4 sisters and how they handle her father being away and how they do women's work, I'm guessing, to get by while he's away. I don't know. This is awful. But, so the back says, here are talented tomboy and author to be Joe, tragically frail Beth, beautiful Meg, and romantic spoiled Amy, united in their devotion to each other and their struggles to survive in New England during the Civil War. So I guess I'm kind of right. I don't know. But I know that this is a beautiful book, so I'm excited to read it. The next is Famous in a Small Town by Emma Mills. This is something I'm going to read the back of because I know nothing about it. With her 4 best friends, loving, infuriating, and all she could ever ask for, she can weather any storm. But when Sophie's beloved Acadia High School marching band is selected to march in the upcoming Rose Parade, it's her job to get them all the way to LA. Her plan to persuade country singer Megan Pleasant, their Midwestern town only claim to fame, to come back to Acadia to headline a fundraising festival. The only problem is that Megan has very publicly sworn to never to return. What ensues is a journey filled with long-kept secrets, hidden heartbreaks, and revelations that could change everything, along with a possible 5th best friend, a new guy with a magnetic smile and secrets of his own. Sounds cute. Yeah. The next is Lily and the Octopus by Stephen Rowley. I have had this for a very long time, and I just haven't picked it up because it's about a dog, and I'm scared the dog's gonna die because it's about a dog who has a tumor, and I have not mentally prepared myself in like the 3, 4, 5 years, I don't know how long I've had this, but I got it on sale, and I only bought it because there's a Dachshund, and I have a Dachshund, and I read the back, and I was like, that sounds nice, and I regret it, because this is probably most likely 100% going to be sad, so, but I would like to read it. The next is Uncommon Type by Tom Hanks. This follows a lot of people. It's short stories, and they all include a typewriter, and it's written by the lovely Tom Hanks. I don't know if I'm going to like this. I'm not huge on short stories, but I do want to give it a try. So the next is Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. This follows Chloe Brown. I'm going to read the back of this as well. Chloe Brown is a chronically ill computer geek with a goal, a plan, and a list. After almost but not quite dying, she comes up with 7 directives to help her get a life. And she's already completed the first, finally moving out of her glamorous family's mansion. The next items: enjoying a drunken night out, ride a motorcycle, go camping, have meaningless but thoroughly enjoyable sex, travel the world with nothing but hand luggage, ooh, and do something bad. But it's not easy being bad, even when you've written step-by-step guidelines on how to do it correctly. What Chloe needs is a teacher, and she knows just the man for the job. Redford Red Morgan is a handyman with tattoos, a motorcycle, and more sex appeal than 10,000 Hollywood heartthrobs. This sounds fun. I've actually never read the back of this. He's also an artist who paints at night and hides his work in the light of day, which Chloe knows because she spies on him occasionally. Just the teeniest, tiniest bit. This sounds so fun. But when she enlists Reds in her mission to rebel, she learns things about him that no spy session could teach her, like why he clearly resents Chloe's wealthy background and why he never shows his art to anyone, and what really lies beneath his rough exterior. I don't know why I've never read the back of this. It's probably because it's one of those books that, like, everyone was talking about and I just bought it. So I'm super excited about this. This sounds like a blast. So I want to pick this up before the third one comes out, because I also want to read the second one. I haven't got the second one because I didn't know if I would like this, but I'm an idiot and I'm definitely going to love this. So I can't wait to read that and the second one and then the third one when it comes out, because I know it follows her other two sisters. I don't know if it's I don't know how many sisters she has, or like if it's just gonna follow her sisters. I don't know. I don't know anything else about it. The next is The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. Another book that I know very little about, but picked up because everyone loves it, and it's also becoming a movie. So let me read the back. Lucy Hutton and Joshua Templeman hate each other, not dislike, not begrudgingly tolerate. Why do authors use such big words on the back of the book? Hate, and they have no problems displaying their feelings through a series of ritualistic passive-aggressive maneuvers as they sit across from each other. Executive assistants to co-CEOs of a publishing company. Lucy can't understand Joshua's joyless, uptight, meticulous approach to his job. Joshua is clearly baffled by Lucy's overly bright clothes, quirkiness, and Pollyanna attitude. Now that they're up for the same promotion, their battle of wills has come to a head, and Lucy refuses to back down, when their latest game could cost her her dream job. But the tension between Lucy and Joshua has also reached its boiling point, and Lucy is discovering that maybe she doesn't hate Joshua, and maybe he doesn't hate her either, and maybe this is just another game. So there's that one. The next is another one that I've literally only heard great things about. So, Dress Codes for Small Towns by Courtney Stevens. I'm gonna read the back again. In Otter Holt, Kentucky, love has always been defined one way. A girl and a boy find each other, buy a Buick, and eventually get married. For Billy McCaffrey, a box-defying dynamo and daughter of the town's preacher, it's never been that simple. Right about the time she realizes she's in love with her best guy friend, Woods, and her best girlfriend, Janie Lee, Woods and Janie Lee start falling for each other. Always considered one of the guys, Billy doesn't want anyone slapping a label on what this all means before she can figure it out herself. And she's not about to upset the group dynamic. Except it's not just about keeping the peace, it's about understanding love on her own terms. So this sounds fun as well. I've heard this is super cute. Can't wait. The next is Autobiography by Christina Lauren. I really like Christina Lauren. Their books are usually a hit or miss for me, but I've only read their adult books, so to read one of their YA books, I'm excited to. Actually, that's kind of a lie. I tried to read Sublime, and I didn't get very far into it. I don't remember why, but I'm hoping this is better. I'm gonna read the back. 3 years ago, Tanner Scott's family relocated from California to Utah, a move that nudged the bisexual teen temporarily back into the closet. Now, with one semester of high school to go and no obstacles between him and out-of-state college freedom, Tanner plans to coast through his remaining classes and clear out of Utah. But when his best friend Autumn dares him to take Provo High's prestigious seminar, where honor roll students diligently toil to draft a book in a semester, Tanner can't resist defying his better judgment and having a go, if only to prove to Autumn how silly the whole thing is. Writing a book in 4 months sounds simple. 4 months is an eternity. It turns out Tanner is only partly right. 4 months is a long time. After all, it takes only 1 second for him to notice Sebastian Brother, the Mormon prodigy who sold his own seminar novel the year before and who now mentors the class. And it takes less than a month for Tanner to fall completely in love with him. This sounds good too. Gosh, I pick books that I know I'm gonna love. The next is The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold. This is another one that I've seen the movie. I have the book. I think my sister got this for like 25 cents at like a Goodwill or something. So this is about Susie Salmon. She dies, she's murdered, and she starts her life in heaven. So she's watching her life on earth continue without her, and seeing how people react and how rumors are flying and everything about how she died and what happened. And I've heard this is very difficult to read. There's a lot of like, maybe it's just the one scene where she's murdered, but I've heard it's very graphic, and I think that is a reason why I've put it off for so long, but I'd like to read it. The next is The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. I googled this and I still don't know if I'm saying it right. I'm gonna read the back of this. Xiomara Batista feels unheard and unable to hide in her Harlem neighborhood, but secretly she pours her dreams and frustrations onto the pages of her notebook like prayers. When she is invited to join her school's slam poetry club, Xiomara doesn't know how she could ever attend without her religious mommy finding out. But even so, in the face of a world that may not want to hear her, Xiomara refuses to be silent. So this is written in verse, written in poems. So I'd like to pick this up soon because I know it'll be a fast read. So, and I've also heard only good things about it. So, yeah. The next and final book is Room by Emma Donoghue. This follows Jack and his mom, Ma. I don't know if we ever find out her name, but his mom is kidnapped and at 17, and she has him in this room where she stays and he stays, and they're like stuck there, and it's all he's ever known. And then one day she convinces him to escape, like from the movie, which isn't, this is another one that I've seen. He escapes and that's how she's found, and then it's their life outside of Room. And I really loved the movie. It made me cry, and can't wait to read this as well. So that's it. 23 books in 2021, hopefully. That's a lot of pages, but I think I can do it. I hope I can. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. All of my social medias and things will be linked down below if you want to follow those. That would be great. Comment, like, subscribe, all that jazz. And here's to more books and reading and all of that. So thank you so much for watching. Bye.